It's over. Thank God. It is over. It's over!
It's over, bro.
After 6 years of watching these cunts win and win
Off
and
garbage.
win and win and win and almost win again, it finally fucking ended after 6 years. Where were you 6 years ago? Not on this fucking podcast.
Not on this podcast.
Where was I 6 years ago? Not on this fucking podcast. Who's come and gone in this fucking sport in 6 years' time? Para have fucking made a grand final, been dirt. Souths have made a grand final, been dirt. Broncos have made a grand final, been dirt. Cunts have come and gone. Players have
Raiders
retired.
Dogs have woken up from their last place.
And the one constant in this garbage sport
these cunts.
was that every fucking year at the end of it, they hosted the Shield in the middle of the stage. Yeah, we did it again. And now, 7 days from now, it's going to be some other cocksucker hosting that fucking trophy. And that
God.
truly alleviate. I feel like I just lost 10 kilos at full time.
I don't think I'm going to sleep better than tonight.
Honestly, like, knowing that red zone's around the corner, I can just put my head on the fucking pillow and count my mighty blessings because the Brisbane Broncos have eliminated these motherfuckers.
It happened, boys.
And I'm going to preface this before we move forward in the podcast. First of all, welcome to the Back Yourself podcast. Hussein, Christopher, the yada yada. Give us a like.
Give us
we
a
fucking
like.
deserve
Yeah,
it. We're
come
the only
on,
cunts
bro.
that tip fucking Brisbane in Australia. And it said that these pricks were going to get eliminated, which they have been. And I just want one request that I generally wouldn't make, that you Penrith selfish motherfucking fans out there, for one day,
Just
out of the
copping it up,
last
bro.
1,500 days that you have been on top of the NRL fucking sporting world, that you don't say, oh, well, we had to eventually lose one, or, we still won 4 in a row, no one else has done that.
Just take the L, bro.
We've taken an L for 1,500 days. You motherfuckers can't just come onto this podcast for one day in your lives and be like, well, you know what, boys, you can have this moment.
Yeah.
Just
won't
do
even,
that for us.
They won't even come on and say, like, the truth. Oh, yeah, Brisbane played garbage and won.
Brisbane did play garbage and win, but we can get to that later. All I ask for is just
the
some
cop on L,
fucking...
bro.
Like, life is about giving and taking. You can't take for 6 years and then not even give us one day.
The NRL,
24 hours.
The NRL has gifted us, though.
Oh, yeah. Look, I don't need a Christmas present, birthday
I
present.
don't care, bro.
I could lose my next 50 NFL bets in a
You know
row.
what?
I
Get
don't
me
give
to
a fuck.
Bali, bro.
I'll go to Bali right now. I'll probably see the Penrith players there. Lol, what happened? Anyway, how are you feeling, Christopher? Obviously, we're both very excited, but it is with great pleasure that I have come on this set today after the miracle in fucking Brisbane. And
I love sport again. I actually
I know, yeah, it's
I actually feel like
rejuvenated.
rejuvenated everything. I love sport. I love watching it. I love watching this sport. And holy fuck, like, I actually still can't believe it happened.
Same, yeah.
It's actually, the way they won as well is just exactly what happened in the grand final, just fucking even worse.
Yeah, arguably worse. And does it repay them 100% of losing the grand final?
Not yet.
Not yet, but this is a very good day in the history of the Brisbane Broncos that they've... When we look back at this Penrith dynasty, there will be the chapter that Brisbane fucking put a dagger into these cunts and sent them home packing, which no one else seemed to fucking do that since Cameron Smith himself. But before we can elaborate on what Brisbane did, we have to go back all the way to Friday night, where the Cronulla Sharks bow out in yet another preliminary final, copy-paste of last season with a bit more respect attached to it this time. They cover and lose on a Kale Iro try when nobody gave a fuck. They gave so little of a fuck that they didn't even take the 2 at the end, which was
No,
hilarious
actually,
for me.
you know what? Like, fair play to Nigo and the team. Like, what's the fuck's the point?
Yeah, at least they gave up,
At least
which
they
is
were
good.
like, you know what? Oh, bro, we can lose by... Who cares, bro?
But
Let them celebrate.
Obviously,
They won.
with the blockbuster that went down today, we have to take it down a few pegs and go talk about the Sharkies game. But after the season and the series of events that Cronulla had leading into this game, it did give a lot of people hope. Not just out in the sporting world, not just Sharks fans, not just the man sat next to me, but a lot of analysts, which... You know what? The people that like come into our comment section and are like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of clowns. We're going to go listen to the analysts. How'd the analysts go?
Yeah, they all
Picking Sharks and Penrith. They lost both of them. Interesting.
I just didn't understand
Fucking
that.
flogs. So a decent chunk of, I would say, different circles within the rugby league community gave
One
Cronulla
out.
a lot of hope and said that they could go down there and had a chance. And I can't say they embarrassed themselves, Chris, but they fall short yet again. What was the full-time score? 20 to
14?
something.
22-14, yeah.
Something along. I think they lost by 8. So what was it?
Yeah,
20
22.
to 12. Some 22-14, I believe.
Yeah.
The Sharkies go down in a close nip and tuck contest, but they never lead in this game and they go out. What do you make of this contest and obviously the Cronulla season, and what did you see from Melbourne heading into their back-to-back grand final appearances now?
Well, look, first things first, Jerome Hughes for getting out there. Like, that was... He looked fucked. I mean, his forearm was like double than me. Like, it was insane. But he got out there and, wow, they're a different team with him. Also, I actually don't know. I don't know who got man of the match, but... Whoever the fuck it was, and if it wasn't Stefano, you can't need to wake up.
Yeah,
this guy was...
He played like a true Origin player.
Played like a true Origin player, and Sharks were automatically on the back foot straight away, and kind of did exactly what you said, that they would lose the forwards, and they did lose the forwards straight away, for no reason. And unlike other teams that Cronulla has been able to alleviate, Warbrick just walks over in 2 seconds. And kind of at that point, I was like, okay, Sharks are not going to have the ball for another 20 minutes. But again... They gave their fans hope. They instantly score once they go down there. And it was, 6-4 or 4-all?
4-all.
4-all. And then they lost the forward. Like, they lost the forwards again. Like, they just let Hughes walk through.
Yeah.
And at any point, there was always some brilliance from Melbourne to get them back in front. And that's just how good the spine is. And it fell right for me. But what actually should have happened, and Iro not scoring at the end, literally for me, someone tag him. I love this cunt. The spine was 8 points better than fucking Sharks. It simply was. I don't think, yes, they lost the forwards, but Hughes, Grant, Munster, and Pappy were 8 points better than the Sharks team. And it actually, the forwards were dominating. They were going through the middle. The players that actually split them open was Hughes, was Munster, was Pappy. So that's exactly what you pay them the dollars for. And Grant at the end to make it 12 and essentially put the dagger. So literally the whole spine. And at that point, it just shows like they need to take another step. And it actually all falls on Nico Hines. Look, I'm going to just say, Sharks, you probably should have finished higher at the end of the year, on the table at least. Did you make a prelim and lose? Did I think you guys would go a bit further this year with Adam Fanua-Blake? Yes. Is it a failure of a season becoming the prelim? Not really. You still got there. Did we expect a lot more? Yeah. But if your superstar is going to play like that, I don't know how else you guys are going to even step forward from this point. The team itself, the 12 to 13, maybe not in this game in particular, but this whole run, 12 out of 13 players have been the best you can get for role players in your team. Role players, quotation mark. If your star is going to fucking not be that player and essentially take the 2 down 8 and then drop the ball off the next set when Melbourne gifted you a set, then you're just not going to get there. And you could see the star power on the other side. Yet the role players for Melbourne actually played good as well. And then you have the stars. You always win the game. So Cronulla, hats off that you won 2 finals games, I guess. No one expected you guys to win 1, yet alone 2. And to get to this point, a lot of people saying Cronulla win. I was a bit biased because I was hoping Cronulla would win. And it would have literally been like, there could have been confetti dropping on this podcast because I would have hedged on Brisbane and it would have been a great day because I would have won both. But either or, did you guys make it exactly where I thought you would? I would have thought grand final, but you're one step away. Does it look like you're even close to Melbourne at this point? Probably not. But that's all on Hines. And essentially, if Hines is not going to play like the Dally M year, you guys can't get that far. The rest of the team, I've got nothing really else to say. In this game, you guys probably weren't as great as you were against Raiders or Roosters, but you're playing Melbourne in Melbourne, so what the fuck do you expect? And it's your own fault for fucking finishing 5th. Would you guys win this game at Allianz or the Core? Probably not, but it gives you guys at least an advantage than going all the way to Melbourne expecting to beat them at their own home ground. It's just not going to fucking happen. So shout out to Melbourne as well. Literally tried for maybe 10 minutes of this game. Did enough through their stars. Munster literally did a kick and chase and was like, fuck it. Pappy will get there. And Pappy got there. Like, just too much talent on this team and no errors throughout most of the game. Penrith made a few errors when it mattered most, which we'll get to in a second. But Melbourne, to me, just look like the best team. And if they go like, to be honest, if they play like 70% in the grand final, Brisbane will get hammered. But
yeah.
Right now, we'll have to discuss that more in the preview. But right now, both teams, really exactly where we finished. If anything, we would have hoped for a Cronulla home ground and lost. Like, it would have been the same.
Outside of your overarching sort of takeaways of where Cronulla are as a club and Melbourne are as a club, did you have anything else, any other insights for this particular game and how it unfolded?
Nah, the first half was... I mean, you stopped one of Hughes or Pappy's tries and maybe you're a chance. The 2 points really fucked you cunts in the second half. Like, Nakora literally crashed over. I reckon if you did that play again, he would score. Like, that was 9 times out of 10, they score.
That was
a
great tackle. When I watched him catch the ball, I was like, okay, Cronulla down 2.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know where the fuck Munster and Pappy came from to hold them up. Like, Nakora in his career literally scores that 100 times in a row. So that just goes to show that.
Which is fine, but it's what they did afterwards. And it was the complete opposite in this Broncos game, where Broncos actually fucking went for it. Yeah. Yes, they didn't score, and they were still down 8, but they showed some fucking balls and were like, fuck it. If we score, we get it down to 2 and bring it home.
All right, hypothetically, you're like, okay, the best chance we have of winning is taking the 2 to cut it to 6. But then it's like, all right, you take... Because in my opinion, it's a different context if it's 10 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
Because then you're like really up against the clock.
And you have to throw the footy around
And you need to score 2 tries anyway, so to say. But this was like 20 to go, right? So Cronulla at this point, it's like, all right, we want to take the 2, and then we're going to score a converted try, and then we're going to go to golden point and kick a field goal. Like, number one, you can't going to concede something at some point anyway, because Melbourne are just going to get some points in some fashion. Number 2, who the fuck's going to kick a field goal for you cunts? Hines over Pappy.
Yeah,
you're going to lose that anyway. Number 3, there's no guarantee that, one, you will get down there to score another try, and even if you do, you might not even kick the conversion. No one in your team can kick a 2-point field goal anyway.
Hines missed 2 goals anyway throughout that game.
So
the thing
it was an awful decision.
The thing that Cronulla fans will say is that they did get down there and Hines dropped it. But again, they could have scored and lost by 2 anyway. So like you don't know.
Your room for everything going perfect is the assumption of taking the 2 and then we can score a converted try, we can kick a field goal, we can hold Melbourne out, we can not make errors. At least if you're like, let's say you take the tap and score, Melbourne at least are like, oh fuck, like our margin for error is gone. Maybe they start making errors. Maybe they play conservative.
You don't know.
When you keep the thing at a converted try, you allow things like Harry Grant scooting on blast and just fucking pegging the ball.
At that point, they were fucked. But if Nakora had scored, I think Storm would have been like, oh fuck.
They fucking saved themselves big time.
They did make a massive tackle, but that's just, again, Munster and Pappy, the stars of the spine, literally saving these cunts. Cronulla were on the ropes and could have conceded a lot more. So I'll give them a little bit of credit. Melbourne did have a lot of sets and they looked like they were hanging on Cronulla. But doesn't matter in the end. They didn't get a win. They didn't go to the grand final. Like I said with Dogs. Dogs are probably a lot worse. Like, at least Cronulla won a fucking finals game.
Oh, Dogs, you can't suck.
Yeah, Dogs suck.
There's no sentence that they belong with Cronulla. Fuck 'em.
Did Cronulla finish exactly where we expected, if not one step behind? Yeah. Like, we expected a prelim at the bare minimum, yet alone we thought grand final. So... at the end of the day, in this particular match, they matched them, but their spine didn't. And that's where it's going to win you the game. And what's incredible is a lot of cunts are going to fucking... No one's going to come at us. It's the truth. The 2 best spines are in the grand final. Simple. The 2 best spines in the competition have made the grand final. And yeah, we're going to get that every year, but... the most elite players in the most important positions are all there.
Well, fuck, we got it last year as well.
We got it last year as well. So, like...
when Luai was there, you'd say that they
were. Yeah, Luai and Cleary and Edwards, of course. And Melbourne this year and Brisbane, well, fucking hell. With Ezra back, they literally have the most star-studded spine. So, the best 2 spines. And Cronulla, for myself, 1, 6 and 9, really matched it as much as they could. Hines just... against an injured Hughes, he looked like the inferior player, which is fucking nuts. Yeah. And that's just not good enough.
If you're not going to outplay Hughes, then like when
are you going to outplay him? He needed to play as good as him, if not better.
To me, I actually have more takeaways in this game than the second one, which obviously like cunts are going to expect me to scream at Penrith, but you'll have to wait and see. I got to get through this game. I have a lot to say. First of all, shout out to JB and Jeremy. Been riding with the Back Yourself podcast the entire season. The biggest Melbourne fans on earth. Jeremy, you did call it that the Sharks will get ambushed and the Melbourne Storm were being slept on. Genuinely tried for about 10 minutes out of the 80, which is an improvement on the previous game. But look, in my eyes...
you reckon, you reckon, like, people from other fans or other people that watch genuinely get cut that we come on and say they tried for 10 minutes?
That's the truth.
Yeah, I love to see anyone go back and watch Melbourne and be like, yeah, they tried the whole game. Okay. They don't even give a fuck.
They genuinely don't care. Okay, number one, You can't have Ashley Klein ref the grand final. This comes out of fucking control.
That I agree.
I'm not saying that there wasn't some stretching things out in the ruck a lot. There wasn't some pushing and shoving and a cause for, all right, I'll give you like 7 penalties on each
Grant
side.
Atkins
14.
did all right.
Grant Atkins didn't have a whistle. Don't worry about him.
That was fine.
Klein was like, penalty, penalty, penalty,
Yeah, that was
penalty.
fucked.
And it was actually really ruined the flow of the game. I think Fitzgibbon in his press conference, without blaming the loss on the thing, was like, the ball was in play for 21 minutes in the first half. 22 minutes of it was just penalty, penalty, error, error. Like, what the fuck's this shit? Okay, number one, we were making the case for Cronulla's goal line D being a lead and all this stuff. And literally 5 minutes in, your cunt's already down on the scoreboard conceding to Warbrick. It's not a good way to start off your campaign. And when you end up going to Melbourne when they're well rested for 14 days, and you guys are already tired off a 6-day turnaround, you can't leave yourself that much margin for error where you're automatically just like playing into Melbourne's hands and fucking conceding in 2 seconds. Obviously, some calls went on each side, and both teams got somewhat possession in the good ball territory. You saw Sione Katoa score a good try to make it 4-4. Hines missed the conversion. Obviously, Melbourne missed because they both scored in the corner. That's fine. And the game sort of was unfolding at this point. Like I mentioned, and you alluded to as well, Sharks maybe objectively have some better forwards, but you wouldn't have fucking known it actually watching the game. And it was at this point that I feel like the dagger was put into Cronulla. Even though it was quite early, even though the game remained close for the remainder of the fixture, when you saw Hughes just be able to palm off Calhoun, which again should be McInnes, but it was Calhoun, to just be able to palm him off with a fucking forearm that he fractured 14 days ago and just run out there and score under the post. I'm sure Sharks deep down were like, fuck's sake, like our entire week's game plan has been running traffic at this car. He just walked through us like this. Fuck me.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah,
but that happened again. Munster did that like 3 times.
Right. So at this point, they've played relatively even up until this stage. Like I don't think Melbourne came out the gates guns blazing. They also conceded to Katoa in 2 minutes when Sharks got down there. It's 4-4. You have individual brilliance from Hughes getting the lead back, making this 10-4. The arm wrestle continues. The calls continue. Sharks go down there and score again. Good cut-out pass to Kennedy.
Gem of a ball. No,
fantastic ball.
No, gem. That was the Hines gem that put Teague straight through the second try. And then Katoa outdid fucking Coates. At that real point when it was 10-8, I was like,
you're right.
I was like, fuck, Hines is awake.
Yes. No,
I was like, fuck, these guys could win from here.
I agree. Good ball to Teague. Teague goes through on what was perceived to be the better defensive edge from Melbourne, but that's okay. They go through. Sione outdoes Coates instead of getting thrown out. Scores, makes it 10-8. They miss another conversion. It's a tough one. I'm not going to kill him for that. It's 10-8. The game's hanging in the balance, right? And then
the play.
Again, the game's been even. The contest has been even. Possession's even. The calls are even. The errors are even. And Munster just fucking chips for Pappy when I've watched, 28 games from Cronulla this season. Have they had a moment where Hines just chips for fucking Kennedy and he outruns this shit just doesn't happen for Cronulla, right? Cronulla they're gritty, they're resilient, they don't concede easily, their kicking games, their kick chase is generally pretty good, they don't make that many errors, they hang in the contest. They have to earn every fucking thing that they get in every single game they play, where Melbourne can just be like, oh, okay, Hughes can just like fucking walk through and just score, right?
Yeah.
Like
it was easier for...
Let's say Hines even got a line break like that. He would get tackled after 10 meters.
100%.
You know? Let's say they grab it for Kennedy and it was Pappy trying to like go... Pappy would get the ball before Kennedy does.
100%.
Right? Would Trindle even have the balls to chip like Munster did? Probably not.
No. But you don't expect...
Does he have that cachet? Probably not. I can't blame him, right? He's like not to that extent of player.
Hines, no.
So at this stage, Sharks go down in the sheds. What were they down? 8 points at this point?
16-8?
Yes, 16-8. Game
no one scores for 4 hours.
Remains relatively even, and the Mack trucks come on, and I feel like the Melbourne bench actually hung in with the Mack trucks relatively decently. Like we kind of in the preview thought that this would be a stage of the game where Melbourne were quite vulnerable, but I feel like when the Mack trucks came on, they didn't have the impact of consistently holding Melbourne down there for a long time.
The other 2 games. When they played Roosters, they had the impact, and the Raiders
I want to give some credit to McDonald and co that actually came on and held their own in the middle of the park. Then obviously the Nakora play happens. Maybe a season-defining moment for Melbourne. Yeah. Who knows, like what confidence? Because up until this point, Sharks hadn't actually just come out and blown any of their opposition out, right? It was comeback wins both in the Roosters and Raiders games where they're just hanging around, and then something good goes their way, and then they play off the back of it. That was an opportunity. I would have bet my life savings that Nikora would score, but Pappy and Munster, again, the two arguably best players on Melbourne, show up in the biggest stage and hold them up. They say it's a penalty off the video ref for high contact, which was marginal, but okay, we'll give you that one. And Sharks had a big decision to make at this stage of the game. Do they put the pedal to the metal, which Melbourne were having to defend their goal line for some time, almost conceded the Nikora try 2 minutes ago? Do you look at each other and think, well, this is our chance to put some pressure on them? If you do score a converted try at this point, it takes away the opportunity from Melbourne to slow down the rock, do garbage, and there's no room for error from them. A try wins it, a penalty goal evens it, the 2-point fucking conversion comes into play, but they just put the fingers up and decide to go for 2, which I feel like was a big mistake at this point.
I wonder who made that decision. I don't think we'll ever get that, but I can't think that was Hines. Like, I much want to blame him. I don't think that was Hines.
It might not have been.
I think
it's
Hines
not fair. It's not fair for us to pin it on Nico, because who knows? It could have been a call. We just don't know.
But
right?
I mean, I don't know why the bench would say it. Why would Fitzgibbon go? Okay,
Blake Brayley's the captain, right? So I feel like the decision would go through him, if not the bench. So it's one of those two parties. I'm not going to put that on Hiko. They take the 2. To Sharks' defense, they actually end up down the other end the next
2
set
seconds
anyway.
later, yeah.
And then again, what I said earlier, there's no margin for you cunts to go and fucking, once you finally get down there, you take the 2 to put yourself in the position to get down there, get the ball back and put some more pressure and potentially score a try. And who knows, if it's tied, like, anything can happen in that sort of a contest. Second tackle, it's just like a back-breaking fucking error, and that's compounded 2 minutes later. Melbourne go and they get the high shot and make it a 2-possession game, and it's similar to how Raiders just like when Billy scored and it was 8. It's like, well, they're still technically in the contest, right? But mathematically maybe, but I feel like the soul was taken out of Cronulla at that point of like, fuck, we took the 2 and just gave it back to them. We've just wasted 10 minutes.
That could have been 16 all. And
we've just wasted 10 minutes of the game clock, and now we need 2 tries in 10 minutes. Like, again, we don't have the players to just go out there and score 2 tries in 10 minutes. So at the end, I think big ups to Melbourne's forward pack. Off the bye, I thought that was enough for them to at least play the Sharks forward pack to a stalemate. If not, they might have just slightly outplayed them. And genuinely, I want to ask you a question. If you swapped every spine player from each of these sides, is it fair for me to argue that Sharks probably win by 8?
Yeah, probably. If not more.
Now, I want to go back to preseason where we said Sharks can do this now that they have Fanua Blake and all this stuff. I think you were sort of barricading for it as well by claiming minor premiership. And you know what? This is a Back Yourself podcast. I will die for you. Probably a week out from the competition, I was like, you know what? Sharks could act genuinely with the draw they have and zero Origin players in this entire lineup. They could come first, and you know what? If they host a fucking semi and
anything can happen.
Anything can happen like that. And Fanua Blake into this forward pack. Penrith not as good as last year. Maybe Melbourne not as good as last year. They're in with a chance. I swear on my mum's life, from the point that these cunts lost in the opening game at Vegas.
Yeah.
I came on the review and I was like,
these cunts
I can't see any scenario where I can go into a finals game against Cleary, against Munster and Hughes, against Walsh and co, and be like, yeah, I'm going to roll with Hines and Trindle.
It ended up being the same. It ended up being the same. Day, it's the same result for Cronulla.
It was the same thing. And really, Sharks can re-sign all their backline. They can run out Fanua Blake. They can bring McInnes back. At some point, Brisbane are in the grand final. They have a player the caliber of Walsh that can completely turn the tide of a game, as we saw in the Raiders game. They have Haas. Maybe we can even say, obviously he's better than Fanua Blake slightly, but you can even call that a wash. At the end of the day, Brisbane have Walsh and Sharks don't have a Walsh.
Correct.
At the end of the day, Penrith have a Cleary and an Edwards, and fucking Cronulla just don't have those players. Yeah. At the end of the day, Melbourne have 4 of them, and Sharks just don't have one player that you can give the ball to and be like, okay,
score me something.
We're not going to fucking get down there and kick them into a corner for an hour. We need 2 tries in 15 minutes. Where are the fucking tries going to come from? They just don't have that player that can just get it and do it when they really need. And unfortunately for Cronulla fans, it's not the right time for us to come on and bash you cunts after winning the 2 semis that you did and going back to a prelim, losing by 8 in the end. Is it shameful? Is it embarrassing? Is it any of those things? No. But it is a little bit disappointing. And I'm not really sure what running it back gets you cunts next year.
Well, they have to. They have no choice at this point.
They
could have gone in a different direction in the case of making the decision, fuck Hines and we keep Atkinson. Now you have no choice. And until you get a new half, which is going to take forever. I don't think the team on paper, they're actually really fucking good.
They are, yeah. They're just deficient in those spots.
I think I've said it for weeks.
Look, in my opinion, I'm happy that you can win a premiership with Blake Brayley as your hooker.
100%.
I'm satisfied that you can win a premiership with Braden Trindle on 400k.
Yeah. I actually think you can win a premiership with Kennedy at fullback.
I disagree.
I think you can.
I think fullback's such a fucking important position.
I agree.
If you look at all the grand final contenders in the last years, they've all had a top 5 fullback. When Parramatta, Gutho was second in Dally M voting. Penrith have had fucking Edwards for their entire run. Melbourne have always had Pappy. When Taff fucking ran out there, who knows, if Latrell played, they might have won.
Yeah, but I don't think if let's say you move Pappy to Cronulla, you think they want to win?
Fuck that! I'd be a bit more scared of him. That's for sure.
Not really.
So at the end of the day, okay, don't worry about Pappy. Let's say you swapped Kennedy with Teddy. Do you then think, oh fuck, you know what? Their chance at least. I'd feel a lot better about my chances if you have Hines, Trindle, and Blake Brayley, and you run out Teddy at the back. I'm like, yeah, fuck, their chance. They have the cachet to run out. Is Walsh in better form? Sure, but is he a better player than Teddy? No. So who knows? If close. Brisbane can fucking do it with one player when their spine players are garbage the entire season, but are Brisbane's outside backs and forwards that much better than Cronulla's? Probably not. The only reason these cunts are there is Walsh carried them for 6 games in a row.
Yeah,
but
true.
I don't think you can get there with Kennedy at fullback. And if you can, it's because you have a Nathan Cleary or something at halfback, right? So either you keep Hines and you get a top 3, top 4 fullback, or you keep Kennedy and you get a top 3, top 4 halfback.
Well, who the fuck's available? Kalen.
You can't.
You can't.
You genuinely can't.
So genuinely, I would say I would go to the level you could swap Hines and Katoa and these cunts would be in the grand final.
Is he Katoa?
Yeah. I think that would Moses Cleary. It wouldn't even be a conversation.
Oh yeah, if they had
Moses Cleary, Hughes, Cleary, it doesn't matter. But I would go as low as Katoa.
They'd have more than fucking 14 points. That's true.
What Katoa does for this team is just for Dolphins offensively.
100%.
If it was with these weapons, Nakora literally scored 20 tries in the year. He doesn't have a second role like that. He doesn't have Adden.
And I want to get on there. I'm not saying Hines had a bad final series. I'm not saying he even was particularly bad in this game. Like you said, the ball he gave to Teague for them to get the line break was great.
But just when it matters, bro.
Can he play to the level of what's required? The teams that they're required to beat to lift the fucking grand final premiership trophy, can he outplay them on a given day? I don't think so.
No, he can't.
He just can't. And
he can't.
Until they address that problem, I feel like it's going to be more of the same for the Sharkies team. Congratulations on making the preliminary final again. Have you played better than previous years? Is the makeup of your club and your club's identity at a stronger point? Do you have Fanua Blake now that you didn't used to have? Yes, check. Did it matter at the end of the season? Unfortunately not. And I can't see that changing next year. On the Melbourne side of things, genuinely cunts tried for about 10 minutes.
What does it say?
There's nothing to say. These cunts just... They have the best spine in the competition. They have the most deadliest spine in the competition. And in my opinion, if the ancillary pieces can just play the opposition to a wash or even slightly play shitter than them, at the end of the day, unless you're fucking Penrith when they had all their players, you're not going to beat these cunts.
Yeah, they're so fucked.
No team has fucking Grant, Munster, Hughes, and Pappy. That's fucked. How do you contain that for 80 minutes?
You can't.
You just can't. These cunts are legit running out Josh King.
What's incredible is they're now 8-1 with that spine this year. And
one lost, Raiders.
No. That was what everyone was saying. Sharks at Shark Park when Hughes got named. Which was what everyone perceived that this is it. But
yeah.
Which was incredible because that game, they were 6.5 dogs at home.
I know.
To this Melbourne team. So, that's how much difference it was.
There were prices like dirt at that point for them to be 6.5.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, look, Melbourne, we said in February that this competition's over already. Are they playing a worthy caliber opposition in the grand final? We can get to that. But really. At the end of the day, they built their season without even trying. Came second, hosted a final to a dog side, had a bye, hosted a final to a Sharks team that's just not as good as them, and they are where they're supposed to be, and they're 80 minutes away from redemption. And that's all there really is to say. Shout out to JB, shout out to Jeremy. It's a good day to be wearing purple, and it's not a good day to be wearing black. As I put the All Blacks jersey on in a second, and now the real analysis can begin. Do you think the Sharks deserve to cover the 8.5?
No. But for their finals run, yes. For that actual particular game, no.
Yeah. But anyway, Kaolero saves you if you took the points at the end. Moving on to the Brisbane Broncos, eliminating, ending, finishing, putting a dagger in to what was the dynasty of the Penrith Panthers. 16-14 is your full-time score. And Adam Reynolds says, give me that motherfucking tea. I'm going to end this shit.
Yeah.
And he does.
For you.
And he redeems himself. And I will love you forever, Adam Reynolds.
It's
for
like
sending these cunts home.
Ended.
Because who the fuck wanted to see this shit unfold in Golden Point so the Iceman can send you cunts home? Definitely not me, but now you're home and I don't have to see you motherfuckers until March of next year, and I will sleep like a baby for the next 6 months until you cunts run out there again, knowing that you won't be doing this with the trophy for the 60th year in a row. Adios, pretty boys, and on to you, Christopher, as I change shirts.
Yeah. I want to say
sayonara.
It finally happened, and truly the best way possible. They could have won 13 plus, which would have been the pinnacle. But the fact that they were up 14, and for everyone that watched the podcast that was with me watching this game, I might as well had egg all over my face. So the whole world was like, how can you even think Brisbane would win this game? I was like, you cunts don't know shit about this sport, bro. How the fuck do these cunts keep winning this garbage? It's so annoying. Anyway, I watched one try. Garbage, obviously. McLean wasn't there, bro. Where's McLean? And then the Willison try. When Willison scored...
Awful try, I might add.
You know what it took me back to? And I'll tell you. It took me back to the grand final 2023 when Cleary dummied and walked straight through. It was actually in the same spot. And as soon as Willison scored and I saw what unfolded, I actually sat there. Everyone was like, oh, no, they're still in front. Walsh might miss the kick. Walsh missed the kick. Everyone cheered. I sat there and went, they're going to win, aren't they?
Somehow.
They're going to win. Like, it's just going to happen. And Mariner scores off the corner. Walsh, being as desperate he can be, basketball passes it over to him. The fuckwit almost dropped it, which, wow, that would have been so annoying. But he still got to the line. Triple movement, quadruple movement, it doesn't matter. And Brisbane, by some miracle, won the game. And truly, regardless of what I say on other socials, because the podcast is really where it matters, that's just fucking me screaming at the Penrith fans, which is normal. They truly deserve to lose. But finally, and it took 5 years and a lot of garbage going Penrith's way to finally get a game that garbage went against them and they lost. And it happened at the perfect time. And I think it just shows this season in particular, they just don't have the talent to get themselves out of garbage. It's simple as that. Like, when they went back for the field goal, there was 20 Broncos players in front of him. He passes it to Edwards, and Edwards shanked it. Like, it wasn't even close. Not that I expect him to kick it, but...
It was a tough kick, yeah.
You look at Melbourne and you go, all right, if Hughes goes back there, okay, they pass it off, Pappy's there. If they pass it off, Munster's there. Like, they have 3 players to kick it to. Same with Brisbane. Oh, yeah, okay, Hunt's there. Oh, no, Reynolds is there. Oh, Walsh is there. Sometimes talent just beats you in the end, and it beat them. There was nothing they did wrong, truly. In Penrith's defense, there was nothing that they did wrong. They've done plenty shit wrong in countless games through this run, and they won anyway. And in the one game they did nothing wrong, this is when they lose. And truly, they deserve to win. They were up 14-0. Brisbane didn't do shit. They can't score for some reason. The best offense in the comp can't score. They get down there, they make errors. Penrith get down there, strip them apart. And that try before halftime, Alamotti second, truly was like a knife in my back because it was exactly when you didn't want them to score. 8 points is definitely achievable. 14. But then I looked at the live odds. And truly...
$9.
I haven't met bigger jerk-offs in my life than these bookies. I actually think, which according to the odds now for the grand final, which we'll talk more in the preview, Penrith would have been pick'em in this game, if not favourites.
Yeah, they would. No, they would be favourites.
It's incredible how much hype they have for this team. Like, they love them like no tomorrow. And what's incredible is they priced them at $1.07 to win this game, down 14. And Brisbane were like $9, $7, whatever it was, right? Fine, sure. But it's not just that. The spread is 14 at halftime. They're down 14. Do you expect Penrith just to fucking put another 60 points on them? Okay, bro. Like, the most they would have lost by was maybe 8-6. Like, it would have been close. Brisbane were obviously going to come back. They couldn't do fucking shit all. They're going to fucking score some stupid shit. And it happened eventually. And the turning point was Alamotti not making it in the corner, that one play. And what defense to Brisbane is they were down 14 points and they were still defending their line like nothing else was going through. Because they knew that if they do get the ball, they can't score. Not the way that they thought they could score because they scored garbage, but they will score. Stags put one, Willison, and obviously Marinard with the triple movement who gives a fuck because it's Penrith. And truly, it's over.
I wish he did 3 more movements.
I wish he did 3 more and the guy still cleared
Fuck
the try. Again, I think you said about Ashley Klein. I'm going to give Grant Atkins some credit. Thank God. He kind of stayed out of this game completely. Last thing we needed was a stop-start.
The credit was that he left his whistle in the fucking sheds.
Yeah, well,
it was fantastic. It was
incredible.
incredible.
It made a great game, and Penrith dominated because of that, because it suits them, but it's too much talent in the end. The skill came down to the skill players. Again, Walsh, he may have not done anything, but he threw that last pass, and I don't know many fullbacks that would get literally have 3 players around him, throw a basketball pass over the top and get to anyone. So shout out to Walsh, even though he was awful most of the game. So was Reynolds. So was Mam. He looked half injured. Hunt was definitely
Don't only come with a pulse.
He played like a fucking dragon, for sure. He's been playing some good footy.
He knows that stadium well, mate.
He knows
Benny
that
Hunt.
yeah,
Thank
exactly.
God.
And the Brisbane fans give, like you said at the start, give them as much shit as you want, bro. Like, today is the day. It's been 1,500 and something days, bro, that we had to deal with this fucking garbage. And the last time we got this team annihilated and out of the finals was Cameron Smith when they put 24 on them at halftime, which was wow. I remember that grand final. I didn't even watch the start of the second half.
If I had a crystal ball and knew what was coming the next 5 years, I would have enjoyed that grand final.
Yeah, we were just like, oh yeah, well they're going to lose one eventually. They're going to lose this one. Melbourne's too good. They have Cameron Smith, but fucking hell, it's been a long ride. And for the cunts that actually truly love them, like they were actually fans of them before, I know you cunts can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. That it's actually happened. That these cunts won't be playing next week. And there is footy. It's not fucking Pacific Nations Cup. Yeah. It's not fucking 4 Nations. It's actually a grand final that Penrith doesn't have a logo there. And I don't have to hear these fucking commentators. You know what truly is infuriating? And I came on and said, okay, 13 plus. All right, bro. Like, relax. Okay, I lost 1 bet. Relax. The other podcast didn't even give him a chance. Like, Penrith's just going to fucking win, yeah?
Yeah.
And, did they not watch, what these cunts did to Raiders? They did the same thing. Yeah, they didn't execute as well. They did the same thing. They literally played awful for 65 minutes and woke up and beat them. It's the same. Now, if you cunts play like this next week, truly you might be down 13-0 within 2 seconds because you cunts were awful in this game. But there's no time to talk shit about Brisbane. They're the only team who's put this team away, and truly, it's ignited a whole rivalry now between Penrith and Brisbane.
I hope we get a trilogy.
I hope we get a trilogy too, because these cunts fucking are going to kill each other come next time. Regardless of what Penrith have out there, now if Brisbane do win the grand final, truly it's 1-1, and it's going to be a fucking fight. Madge, the whole team, you cunts, whatever you cunts did 6 weeks ago, toilet water and all, keep fucking going. Do I think you cunts are a chance next week? We'll save that for the preview, but you've won your grand final as far as I'm concerned, knocking out the 4-time champs, 5-time grand finalists in the prelim final where no one thought you cunts would win, which it honestly blows my brain. 2.5 closing, 3.5 most of the week. That's fucking nuts to me. Absolutely incredible. And I'm so happy that they won off garbage.
Elated. Happy is an understatement. I feel like I've taken fucking some drug that's shot my dopamine into a millionth stratosphere.
It's happened. It's over.
It's over.
It's incredible.
Okay. It's a lot to say, isn't
Is
there? Could be I could do 3 hours on this game alone, let alone the fucking context of both of these clubs. Number one, as I wear this All Blacks jersey, which has looked quite good on me in the last 8 weeks.
You know what's incredible?
Every week I've put this shit on these cunts of cover.
These cunts keep winning.
I know. It's fascinating. And the week that I screamed at everyone that Reynolds actually sucks and they're better with Billy Walters, They haven't lost the game since then, which is actually comical.
Yeah.
In saying that, objectively speaking, Brisbane were actually awful in this game. Yeah. Their left side defensively may as well have been the Bulldogs' left edge that conceded 50 tries last week. Their spine looked completely out of answers, out of sync. Defensively, they lost the middles. Obviously, without Carrigan, they didn't really have a chance to win the middles from the start. And you know what was said about how they can go and win this game between, well, fuck, they're gonna have to contain Walsh, and they didn't in the 2023 grand final, and now he's playing even better. Who knows? Brisbane might go score 5 converted tries. Blaze Talangi and Casey McLean look pretty shaky next to each other, and that can be exploited by fucking Katoni Staggs getting a short ball. For all of that, that was said, considering you can't play it at home, you had 14 days to prepare. Yada yada.
52,000.
Not one of these things actually came to fruition. But
it was all Reynolds' fault.
But there has been a complete makeup and identity shift in this club in the last 7 weeks, and in my opinion, all of the pain that UConn suffered in the 2023 grand final, all of the pain that you suffered missing the 8 the following season, all of the pain you suffered looking up at the competition ladder halfway through this season and seeing fucking dragons ahead of you. At some point, these boys looked at each other and said, enough is enough of this fucking garbage. We can't just go out there and throw the footy around and win every week. We have to actually show some resilience for once in our lives, show some ticker. And when the game is not going in our direction and things are not falling for us, and we're not front running with Ezra coming off his left foot and Walsh fucking doing this toilet water celebration in the end zone, what is the identity of us when that shit is not happening? And they fucking answered the bell.
Yeah.
That Dean Mariner knock on in the 3rd minute of the second half on the 10-meter line is a flashpoint moment for this club. Any Broncos side from 2024, 23, 22, 21, 20 would be down 20-0, 5 seconds. 100%. 5 seconds later. 100%. That Alamotti shift where 600 Broncos players came and fucking put him in a body bag would have never happened other than the previous regime. And it wouldn't have happened 10 weeks ago, to be honest. But at 14-0, they looked at each other and were like, you know what? We can score, even though they can't score, which is miraculous to me. Because fucking Fogarty wasn't on the field, apparently. They actually held it down for long enough that, you know what? They'll get the ball back, they get a penalty, they go down there, and 1 second later, Stagg scores. And in my opinion, that dynamic of that moment was very similar to when Hosking had that chance to fucking put it to 24. Shibasaki came and killed him, and 2 seconds later, Walsh scored, and it's like, oh, fuck. We defended and we scored in 2 minutes? Fucking hell, it's almost like trying on our goal line actually means something. So, in my opinion, you cunts were awful. And everything that we said you have an advantage of, you didn't go right. And give...
go right. It was incredible.
Like, did Staggs even get one opportunity where it was Reynolds to Walsh to Staggs to fucking Mariner? It didn't happen one time. All you cunts did was peg the ball at Shibasaki when Toa is easily the best defensive winger in the competition for him to drop it and fucking get thrown out. His mate got thrown out 2 minutes later. The spine didn't combine at any point, and the only cunt with a pulse was genuinely Ben Hunt. So I say that to say this. There's a different identity in Brisbane.
They've woken up.
They're awake, finally. And they're not just where they are because they have fucking Herbie and Flegler and Haas and Carrigan. And Carrigan didn't play. These cunts ran out Smoothie and fucking Pakes and won in a game that they were down 14-0. You could never say that about these pricks in the last 5 years. So shout out to Brisbane. Now, how this game unfolded... Well, I'm sorry, Penrith. You cunts were the right side at -2.5. You're fucking twice as good as this side. The way you cunts played was legit. That first half, it was like it's the same shit as the Dogs get. If Dogs had like a little bit of ticker, it would have been the same first half. 14-0 at halftime.
That's
same
the
garbage.
Of Brisbane, right? They can score. Even if it's garbage, they can score. And garbage usually possesses within these Queensland teams that they just fucking score some stupid shit.
Cowboys, Titans,
all of them. CEOs. All score garbage. And 14 points, as much as we thought Brisbane could execute, which they didn't, at least they fucking can put points on the board. Dogs, if they were down 14-0, they may have scored one try and then given up. Sharks, if they were down 14-0, scored maybe one, maybe two, given up.
Yeah.
Like...
Or they would have just conceded.
These cunts, like, once they get on a roll, it's just continuous garbage.
Yeah.
And it got them to where they were, and literally that last try was the pinnacle.
The pinnacle of salt. how the game unfolded in the first few exchanges, I felt like Brisbane won the forwards actually kind of early. Like, they had Penrith kicking from deeper in their own goal line. Like we said, Grant Ankers just swallowed the whistle, which, you know what, like, I feel like played into Penrith's hands a lot. Not because they were dominating the ruck, but holy fuck, they got away with so much slowing of the ruck. So many plays that they were just clearly offside and not getting called. Forward passes, and they end up getting a penalty for a hard shot from it. It was just garbage. And because of it fucking being Penrith, I got to give them a shout out because it's not on accident that this happens. They didn't make an error for 26 minutes again. 13 of 13. It was like they were playing Bulldogs again. And they were playing methodical. The exchanges were even through the middle of the park early. Brisbane, I feel like they might have listened to fucking the world a little bit too much. And try to play and didn't give Penrith the respect that they deserve of, you can't just fucking run around them as if it's the Raiders' right edge defense and just go out there and just walk around them without building any fatigue in the game in 2 seconds. And in the early exchanges, number one, the Shibasaki knock-on, which I wanted to strangle him. Number two, the Karapani getting thrown out when he was 10 meters in from the touchline, wanted to strangle him. Number three, Walsh fucking getting hit and dropping it on the halfway line when they had no possession, wanted to strangle him. And at this point, you go error. Penrith didn't make one error in this entire exchange. They go and, again, I can't even sit here and say Penrith scored garbage because they didn't.
They scored good tries.
It looked like a copy-paste of the exact tries that they were scoring against Dogs, and it was a copy-paste of the exact same defense that I was fucking seeing from Dogs. Hunt standing still, Shibasaki sprinting out, and Karapani's in La-La land.
Yeah, that first try, they had numbers.
What the fuck's this shit?
What the fuck's going on?
Like, why are we short already? This is incredible.
But they weren't short. They had the numbers.
And Alamotti just walks... This cunt's Michael Jordan out on the wing, sure. Okay, the playoff fucking champion of the world. He waltzes through untouched, and he scores. Again, Brisbane continue making errors. They had like an error count of 7 at this point. They give a penalty away because, well, how can you not fucking give Penrith 8 penalties? And they take the 2, it's 8-0, and I'm already like, well, okay, we're down 2 possessions, fantastic. And I can't even say we haven't had the ball because we have had the ball, we just keep fucking dropping it every 2 seconds.
Classic Brisbane.
After 30 minutes, you got the Toto fucking error, which was a gift from God. God came down to the field and might have fucking slapped it out of his hands for these cunts to make an error. And Brisbane were like, looked at each other like, holy fuck, we got the ball. Pass halfway. This is a new experience. They go down there. Penrith knock the ball down. They get a scrum play.
This can't.
They go right. Casey McLean does the pick 6. Thank Allah that fucking Grant Atkins. And I feel like the sideline touchy actually.
He was offside.
He was offside, but if he scored that, I genuinely would call full time because Brisbane just fucking give up after that.
Sorry, they
gets called offside. They run the play that they ran for Stags, but they run it for fucking Willison for some reason.
I don't know why they just
genuinely, that was a fantastic play.
Yeah.
And the threat of Walsh out back and to bring Willison around, there was no way they were tackling him. Unfortunately, he drops the ball. They blow an opportunity to make it 8-6. Penrith go down there right before halftime. Mitch Kenny throws it forward from dummy half. They call a fucking high tackle 2 seconds after instead of calling the forward pass. And they go right again. It was I blinked and I was like, "Is that Burden and Sexton next to each other? Same garbage." Walsh, some kind on Instagram was like, "Oh, bro, Walsh he's literally was positioning. He was literally there. He just slipped, and Alamotti just
he wanted to stop him anyway.
Alamotti turned into a fucking Olympic hurdler over him. And he was like,
"That's playing NFL."
Scores 14-0, and I was like, not that I had given up complete hope. But
I was done.
The way that Brisbane were playing, I was so fucking pissed off at them because I was like, there's no reason for you guys to be down 14-0.
No, I was like, these cunts.
Halftime comes out. I feel like it was a really good opportunity to see what kind of club Brisbane were. If they just came out and, like you said, the live line was 13.5, which was just like, oh, okay.
These cunts are just going to lose. Yeah.
Sure, okay.
They might have released the grand final odds at halftime.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, sure.
For fucking
Penrith $1.40 next week.
Yeah.
And fucking Mariner dropped it in 2 seconds. I was like, fuck my life. Oh my God. Instead of these pricks dropping, it's Mariner. No, actually, before we go to halftime, sorry, what am I talking about?
They dropped it off the restart.
These pricks dropped it. Yeah, God came down again and he's like, I'll take the ball away from Lindsay Smith. Score. And what did they do? Hit up to Wilson, hit up to Haas, hit up to Wilson, hit up to Haas, and peg it at Mariner so he can grubber it out. Thank you. What a play. No Walsh, no Stags, no nothing. And at this point, I was like, at that point, actually, I was like, you know what, fuck these cunts. They can't even score anymore.
I'll tell you what's funny.
So at this point, the spine's like in 6s and 7s. They're playing like dirt. Walsh is not getting involved in the game plan, which I screamed at Reynolds, get him involved. You have one job. And defensively, they look like they're in shambles. They come out. Karapani drops it. I was like, fucking, I might actually turn the TV off. They go out right to Alamori. I was like, the commentator was like, hat trick again. I was like,
yeah, they all just jerk him off.
fuck off.
I know.
Thankfully,
no one wants to see him lose. I don't
Thankfully,
understand.
the Broncos players were actually fucking rocked up and tackled him. They got the ball back. And I feel like Cleary might have got tackled on last or something at this stage. The Broncos, like, the 50,000 fans breathed a sigh of relief and were like, thank God we still have a chance. They do the high shot of Mariner. They go down there. Still, at this point, haven't executed anything. And the spine still playing like garbage.
The kick
At
from
this
out of
point,
Reynolds.
I was questioning why the fuck am I not seeing any second phase out of Brisbane at all, considering that they were actually relatively like even in the middle of the park. Haas, shout out to him for playing 80 minutes, like a heroic fucking performance from him. That he essentially fucking played like
Carrigan
on behalf of Carrigan and himself, which was incredible. But he wasn't really generating second phase. I think he was just out there on half a lung at this point.
And half a leg. I don't know how he wasn't.
Yeah, and no one else was really playing second phase, but they do their first dog shit offload of the game, and Reynolds looks up and he's like, well, we can't score, fuck it, I'll grab it for Stags. And Stags, he's there, he catches the ball, and it's like, Brisbane have some fucking life and hope now. At 14-6, you're like, well, okay, if we score another one, then we really like are putting pressure on this side. Penrith continue to get the ball for the next like 10, 15 minutes. The tackle in the opposition 20 was like 14-3 in the second half, and they were just constantly repelled. They got close a couple of times. Brisbane answered the bell every time. Then they got down there on the other side. What was the second try? The Willison one. Again,
knocked down from Cleary.
This is some garbage that Penrith would generally score. But at this point, Penrith have scored off two quality backline shifts
for once,
and Brisbane have scored off a grubber off some garbage. And Benny Hunt challenging them on the short side. Cleary knocks it down. All the Penrith players don't know where the ball is, and Willison catches it. And Hunt's like, "Go and score!"
and
he's like, "Oh fuck! All right, I dropped it earlier, so I may as well put this one down." He scores under the post. They're celebrating as if they've already won the comp, which was fascinating to me. But Walsh comes and hits the upright. I was like, you know what? At this stage, I don't even want to win on plus 2.5.
Win or fuck off.
You cunts can not cover. I don't give a fuck. Just go and win somehow. Did I genuinely think that they could score again?
Yeah. No, I did.
I didn't. I was like, there's nothing from the spine play at this point that would suggest to me that they can actually execute under pressure. And Penrith generally are quite good under pressure defensively as well. Obviously, they go set for set. I feel like Brisbane didn't really throw much at them between 10 minutes to go and 5 minutes to go. They kind of were just like playing for field position. In the end, they get their opportunity because they went right. Haas went to do the offload, and Blaze knocked it down for the 70th time. And they got another 70 tackle set to try and make something happen. And again, it was just Walsh drawing in so much attention, doing the basketball pass over and Mariner. Triple movement. No, I want to get this straight. Double movement, triple movement, quadruple movement, pentuple movement. I wish he just sat on the floor and just did this all the way into the dead ball line. And I saw try confirmed on the screen because fuck you cunts. That's some garbage that you would also always score.
And then the moment.
And then I was like... I'm going to be honest. I'm not like saying this in hindsight. I knew Reynolds was going to be like, can't give me the kick.
No, I actually thought Walsh would take it and miss.
Yeah, he would have missed.
But then when I looked at Reynolds, I was like, he's kicked it.
Very low key. Even though they scored 50 tries at the end of the Raiders game, Walsh actually missed pretty much all of those kicks. The first one he kicked, that was almost missed as well. And then the second one hit the post when he was right in front, and Reynolds was like, can't give it to me. And when he stood up and said, all of Suncorp stand with me, I have been brought to this club as the sharpshooter to fucking conversions like this. And I'm going to make amends for the one I missed against this same fucking team in 2021 to make it 14-all. And I'm going to step up to the plate. And it was never in doubt, baby. Arrow straight over the black dot. And the fucking crowd erupts. Yeah. And at this point, I was like, all right, Penrith, you cunts are done. The whole ride of you being last and then third and then coming seventh and then raping Warriors and raping Dogs and then going up 14-0 and almost making it 20-0, but it's not 20-0. And then you can see garbage on top of garbage on top of garbage. And this cunt kicks the sideline conversion. I was like, all right, you cunts are done. They go short and they didn't get it. So I was like, all right, now they're really fucking done. Brisbane go down there, give them the ball on the 1 meter line. beat the shit out of them for 4 tackles. Staggs grabs Edwards and pegs him at the ground. Edwards just lets the ball go and gets a penalty. All right, whatever.
Okay,
all right, cunts, go and score. Why not? They throw the footy around for a bit. Now, I feel like
they should have went
on the last plays, on third tackle, they actually had an opportunity with like 25 seconds to go to have a crack at a 2-point field goal. And the Brisbane players were like sleeping at this point.
Yeah.
And the Iceman was actually set up for it, but he didn't really call for it.
I want it
firmly of give me this game. I'm gonna tie it up. And it looks like they were a little bit confused. I can't blame them. Obviously, they're playing under fatigue, and this is all. I'm not an armchair quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like they missed a little opportunity, right? Because the probability of them scoring on the next tackle was like quite low, and the way they were taking hit-ups, they got all the way to the 20-meter line. It was like Cleary he wasn't all the way back at the 40. He was like in 2 minds of should I take it, should I not, should I take it, should I not? And that kind of fucked them over. They end up going back 20 meters. By the time Cleary actually catches the ball off the floor, 5 Broncos players are there to tackle him. He does what he can and pegs it at Edwards, who gave it his best crack. I'm not expecting him to make it under that situation. Walsh catches the ball and does what you've been asking.
Finally, bro.
You just get the ball, run it backwards, and run out the clock and kick it into the sidelines. And there's your ball game. 16-14 full time. Were Broncos a better side? Fuck no. Did Broncos execute better? Fuck no. Did they defend necessarily better? Fuck no. But are they going to the grand final? Fuck yeah.
There was a moment in the game which we kind of skipped past after the Broncos' first try. Really changed the game. And this is like un-Penrith-like, which was their only one mistake of the game. Cleary gets smashed by Ezra, which was fine. I actually don't know why these guns were punching on. Martin just comes in and hits. All right, it's a penalty because of Martin did. It wasn't that. This cunt wasn't going to call anything. He wouldn't call shit all. I know this cunt. The fact Walsh ran back all the way to that point, to the point that he got tripped up by a man on the ground to take the tackle at that point. And then obviously Grant Atkins was like, yeah, Martin, you're an idiot. Here's the penalty. They scored off the next set from Willison. If Walsh doesn't come back that 40 meters, and I don't know how, because it wasn't even on camera, they were showing the punch on. He must have ran past like 4 cunts to get there. Takes the tackle, and obviously they get the ball back. At that point, and when Liam Martin got penalised, the whole crowd exploded. That was the point they were coming back. And
yeah.
They scored fucking bullshit. But again, it's a Queensland team scoring bullshit. It's normal. And they'll put points on the board. Did I think it would be that way? No. But doesn't matter at this point. Really not. Because Penrith is gone. And that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's all that really matters. There's a game playing in 7 days' time. And they're not a part of it. And that truly gives me joy. Now.
What's going to happen in 7 days, bro?
I will say Penrith.
Goodbye.
You had still the greatest 5-year stretch of any club in the history of sport, in my opinion. The roster turnover that you guys have had, the players that have come and gone, the players now captaining other clubs and rebuilding them under what you guys have developed. Some of the dirtbags that you've run out in a Penrith jersey, a la Lindsay Smith, a la Blaze Talangi, a la Marty himself. Like at Dogs, where was this at Dogs? You can't like, they're literally running out Rinda Karma instead of you now, but you put a Penrith jersey and you play like a god. It's fascinating.
Pink one.
Mitch Kenny, any other club in the NRL, he probably wouldn't be a first grader. Even though like he is good at Penrith. I'm not saying he's not good. All of this for 1,500 days of domination of this sport. And if there was a way for the champs to go out, it was that way. You were not disgraced. You should have won. You're the right side. You probably should have even covered. But
today's day
at the end of the day, there is only so much left in the tank of one team. And your spark just got blown out at the very end of this game to end this dynasty. And I take no credit away from you guys. You're a fantastic club. Other teams should be looking at you across all codes of sport and think, wow, what have these motherfuckers achieved in 5 years? That's incredible. And on top of all of that, sucker fat one. See you next year, pretty boys.
Are they going to be good next year, bro?
I don't give a fuck. They're not playing anymore this year, and I don't care about next year.
Well, the All Blacks are playing. The fact these cats got to go to the game is incredible.
It's fascinating where they've come from of losing to Dragons the way they did, and now
losing to Manly, bro.
Losing to Manly.
Wow, that was bad. Carrigan and Haas backed up to one play
to back down. It was incredible.
Fucking hell.
Brisbane, you really have turned your season around, the identity of your club around. Was it clinical? Fuck no, but it didn't have to be in the end. It was just gritty and tough, and that's not 2 words we have associated with you guys for a little while now. You get another bite at the apple with Melbourne, which you have actually dismantled in the last 2 final games you've played them.
Well, we
sorry, my
last
apologies.
2 games.
The last finals game, you pitched a shutout in the week 1 of 2023 when it was, 28-0, and you annihilated them. You also annihilated them 5 weeks ago in the game that Hughes broke his arm. So I'm sure there's a lot of redemption and revenge on the mind of the Melbourne Storm. They have 2 extra days to prepare for you guys in what was literally World War III out there today. It's going to be difficult. And one other point I wanted to make from this weekend was it was very apparent how much towards the end of the game it made a difference that
having the extra week.
Brisbane had the extra week and Melbourne had the extra week, because when push came to shove, like let's say the shoe was on the other foot and Penrith were rested last week and Brisbane were playing the week before, they would not have the energy. There would not be enough juice in the lemon for them to squeeze to get out what they needed to win on the fucking verge of defeat. And Melbourne, well, they don't even give a fuck, so that means nothing to me. But I guess like everyone that has a hard on in the media about, you can't win the comp outside the top 4, that's the reason for it. That having that bye is game changing. And now both of these teams, obviously Brisbane get Carrigan back next week, which is going to be a very welcome addition to this side. Question marks over what you do with the spine, because Ezra to me did look a little bit undone, although he did get through the last 50 minutes of the game. Did he have his normal explosive pace and speed? He looked like he was struggling to really push off that hamstring. Hughes, can he make it through 80 minutes of Haas and Carrigan and Piakura running at him? Sharks couldn't really exploit it. Can Brisbane do it? It's a high-powered offense in Brisbane against an even higher-powered offense in Melbourne that no one wants to acknowledge. 2 good spines playing each other, 2 teams that hate each other, should make for a good grand final. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's a great grand final. I want to say for the Brisbane dynasty, I didn't think it was possible, but shout out Madge, bro. Like, he really turned these cunts around. I can't imagine this was done under Kevy. And I knew at points that I was like, this Brisbane team just hasn't bought into Madge, because Madge isn't a bad coach. You can't blame the coaching. But wow, he's turned these Cubs around, and they've really come down on what we need to do to win and not fucking showtime. So that was huge in this game, and it has been the whole final series. In terms of the grand final, I mean, I'm just going to enjoy the show. Like, now that Penrith is not there, I couldn't care less who wins. At this point, both teams with the best spine.
What is your rooting interest if it's a 51-49 split?
I would go Melbourne. Just only because we don't know how long the spine will stay together, and truly they deserve a premiership throughout this time. They've not made every grand final, but they've been the 1B to Penrith's 1A in this dynasty, and they've been there so many times with them. Brisbane went once, these cunts have been twice, and they're always like in the hunt. So I would say I would lean Melbourne, but really like only because probably they've been the more consistent team. Brisbane just played like idiots for half the season. So the fact they're in the grand final just shows how much talent they are.
They played like idiots an hour ago. It's insane.
But they're just so talented. Is this team as talented as it was when they lost to Penrith in 23? No. But they can still play a good game of footy, and really throw the footy around. It's going to be a fucking throw around contest. I just hope I know Brisbane, they're going to get a lot of praise this week, and a lot of the chat this week, and I'll say it already right now, is how the fuck are these cunts going to stop Coates? That I don't know, but
Warbrick even as well.
Warbrick and Coates, 2 of the weapons that Melbourne really doesn't use 90% of the time. But they have that advantage, which is going to be a lot of the chat this week. And what lineup Madge goes with, I would just name Ezra at 6, and whatever he can get through, You're going to need all 4 of those spine players to play out of their mind to beat this Melbourne side. So you're going to need him. I know Pakes has actually been really good off the bench, but Melbourne's not going to fucking start with Shart, and that's the way I see it. You got to start your stars, and Ezra may be hampered, but whatever happens, you can always move Hunt to 6 and put Pakes back at hooker. I don't think there's a route in my mind that you cunts are going to win with fucking Ezra coming off the bench again. It's just not going to work, especially against this Melbourne team. And how you cunts play like idiots for 60 minutes, because that first 20 minutes of this grand final is probably going to be the most important 20 minutes of your fucking lives. You can't go down 20-0 in 2 seconds. You might as well give up on the spot. So this isn't, to be honest, this isn't Raiders. This isn't Penrith. You're playing one of the best offense in the competition outside of you cunts. So fucking good luck.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a big win for the pod, for the rugby league world.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, Penrith are gone. That's just
That's the pinnacle.
the creme de la creme of everything. Number 2, you have 2 exciting brands of footy that have made the grand final.
100%.
I can't see this being a 12-6 fucking...
Overs, bro.
I can't see this being a 12-6 strangle contest that was last year's grand final, which, again, was enjoyable as far as Penrith's greatness goes, but the spectacle of no one fucking scoring for 2 hours is probably not what the NRL want for this contest. And number 3, it's a rematch of 5 weeks ago where Melbourne went there as favourites and Brisbane made a big statement, and they've made statement after statement after statement from that game, knocking off Melbourne into going to Canberra and winning, and then minus Carrigan going and eliminating fucking Penrith. I'm not sure you could have a more impressive resume. If they are to cap it off with a grand final victory against Melbourne, then fuck me, they should build a statue of Madge at full time.
100%.
Fucking hell. But outside of doing that, I think win, lose, or draw for either of these sides is going to make for a good grand final. And I don't want to give too much away because obviously I want you cunts to come watch our preview 48 hours from now. But it's a win for the NRL in my opinion, and it's a win to see the backside of Penrith suck a fat one yet again.
Yeah,
Any other comments, mate? Or
nah, let's wrap
there's
it
really
up.
there's really not much
We've
to
got
say.
1 hour before we go to sleep.
Your main takeaways from both of these preliminary final games, and did the games live up to the hype for you?
Yeah, they actually did. Both games actually were tight contests. Did I see Cronulla winning? No. Cronulla, same old garbage every year. Did I think UConn's had more hope this week? Yes, for sure. But comes down to Hines at the end of the day, and I just don't think he's that superstar level that you need. Melbourne, again, UConn's tried for 10 minutes. Maybe you'll try for 20 minutes in the grand final. Who knows? Because UConn's are just fucking too good. Brisbane, UConn's have so much waking up to do to stop this offense. But I hope UConn's do, and UConn's probably the most gritty win out of UConn's history because usually you guys give up. But fucking hell, you guys hung in there. And Penrith, I know I should give them praise, but not today. Suck a dick. Truly. Yeah, we'll discuss in the review of the season how great your dynasty was and how it ended by 2 points, up 14, and you fucked it. But today, truly suck a cock. It's over. I have nothing else to say. I wanted it to be over, and it is over. You cunts have ridden the whole way with garbage and finally lost a game to garbage. There's countless games I can count that you cunts should have lost, but no. Penrith fucking win. The pick 6 against Taft and the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Parramatta game that notoriously you cunts should have fucking lost 10-8. But no, you can't stop that in a fucking war. You go to Melbourne and somehow won that game by some fucking miracle because George Jennings got the ball slapped out of his hands. The grand final where you cunts should have fucking lost and were annihilated for 65 minutes by Ezra Mam and the boys. I can give you countless options. And finally today it happened. You cunts will not be there next week. And you cunts can go to Bali and we'll see you there because fuck off. It's over.
Very well spoken, mate. From my side, Sharks.
Same shit.
This was the point of last season. This was you cunts this year. After all this, end up at fucking square one again. Just pointless. Melbourne, I'm not going to go the entire year to watch you cunts lift the trophy having not tried for 80 minutes once. What the fuck's wrong with you
guys? Did they
guys?
even try last year?
No, oh, yeah. They tried the grand final, got pumped.
No. There was.
They tried against Roosters.
There
Fuck
was
me.
particular games throughout the year. Yeah,
they tried at the end. They tried all of them. Fuck me, they were possessed.
Yeah, they were possessed. But
this year, they don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, just win every game by 8.
Broncos. I don't know with you cunts. You genuinely should have got raped by Raiders and Brisbane. And at Penrith. There was no reason for you guys to win either of those games, but you did. And I will forever, regardless of what happens with it, if I make it to 100 years old and this year is 2100, I will always have a soft spot for Brisbane for ending this shit from these motherfuckers from today's game. Thank God. At the very end of it, dear Penrith.
Bye. See you in Bali.
Suck a fucking fat one and see you next year. Sayonara. And sayonara to the podcast followers. Peace. See you guys in 48 hours for the grand final preview where we will be giving our best bets Long shot odds, first try scorers. You
was
fucking name
bullshit
it.
in my first try scorers, bro.
I know, bro.
You guys missed my fucking shit.
You do not want to miss this fucking podcast. Make sure you tune in 48 hours from now. Give us a like, comment, and a subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Appreciate it as always. Suck a fuck.
Suck a dick, Penrith.
Peace out. Red Zone 2 hours from now. Let's
Peace.
go.